Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the FEP Talk Show with Oladwin, a channel where true life stories, real life experiences, impact and knowledge is shared on finance, entrepreneurship and purpose. And on today's episode of Purpose, I have here with me an human resource manager, is the founder of Into the World Network. He's also an host to Time Out with Ben and is by the name Ogumbola Benjamin Ayobami. How will I put it? Also, Ayodele. Okay. All right. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming. It's a privilege having a boss man like him too. Thank you so much. All right. So, what other things do you like to know about?
Okay. Well, the ones you've said, and I'm a graduate of mathematics from the University of Iran. Presently doing my MBA in human resource management, and it's over 4 years experience working as an administrator, and ensuring efficiency in offices and also supporting CPAS executives. And also enjoy public speaking a whole lot. And when I'm not doing any of these things, you find me playing it.
Nice one. All right, so before we move to what we have for today, I checked your handles and I saw that you are into public speaking, the podcast now, I believe. So and it's like name Oba Inspire. So how did that? I know Oba is not part of your name, so how did that?
Okay, very simple, because I have friends who are like, you just name yourself Oba, name yourself King, and all those things. So apparently my name is Ogumbola. Benjamin Ayodele. And the abbreviation of these names, the initials, is O for Ogumbola, B for Benjamin, and A for Ayodele. So I just brought these initials together and it's like Oba. So my name called me King.
Wow. Wow, your name called you a king. That's very. But I'm interested from mathematics to human resources.
Interesting. I have to breathe. Well, it's been a journey, and I think it's from actually engineering to mathematics, then finally to human resource. Yeah. So I got into school to study engineering, but I could not cross 200 level. Yeah, in my school you need to meet a certain requirement to cross into 200 level. And then I was on the verge of dropping out of school because no department was accepting me. I had a department that accepted me geology, but when I came into school, they said they are not taking in students. So it was a serious issue for me. But I think that was when I first encountered the importance of relationship. So I met a professor, and I met somebody who knows a professor that told me, let's go and see this man. And I was like, I don't think I studied math, I read it. Just to graduate. So, but it has helped me, math has helped me. So when I was done with sports, I think I enjoy managing and leading people, and I do that with ease. I have the privilege to lead a group of brothers. I'm just putting the fellowship, and men are one of the hardest set of people to lead. But I discovered I did it with ease. So I said, okay, this thing I do with ease when it comes to people, how do I navigate it in the industry, become a valuable person to an official system? And I decided, okay, I'll go into human resource management. So I started to practice as an administrator first, and I discovered that, okay, you need to do some certification and all these things. Even though I had the knowledge of implementation, but I still needed to be certified. So that's why I'm currently doing my MBA in human resource management. That's been my journey.
All right, so thank you so much for the introduction. Engineering, mathematics, human resources. That's a nice one. At least you have the most important things. You have knowledge in these three. Fields. All right, so moving on to what we have for today. I'm sure that there's no how you want to practice what you are doing at the moment that you will not impact people, either directly or indirectly. So what does impact mean to you? Even before you relate it to what you are doing at the moment, what does impact mean?
Okay, first let me just define impact generally. I refer to it as a tangible or intangible, how would I put it now, consequences that happens based on a project, based on an action, based on what you say that happens. So first is either intangible or tangible that happens based on an action, based on what you say, based on what you do. So it'll be a project, it'll be an implementation that happens. So, and I like to give a sample. For example, if a car hits another car, there's going to be a dent, something's going to happen. So most times when people meet people, something, when people say things like, when I met him, I was not the same again, things like that.
Yeah.
So something happens when you meet somebody. Even the Bible says that he that walks with the wise shall become wise.
Yeah.
So I think that's the definition of impact to me. And for me, more personally, I think impact is simply leaving my name on the heart.
Wow, nice one. So how do you relate it to what you are doing at the moment?
Okay, I'm into human resource management again, and if I relate it, the first time I was trying to really understand what I want to do as impact is I was in school and I held my first conference, Paradigm Shift, and I said, okay, if I'm going to impact people and I want to help their action to be proper and behave well, the first thing I want to do is to change their mindset. To correct their mindset. So my program Paradigm Shift was about balancing their mindset. So when you bring it down now into what I'm doing, human resource management company, when people join the company, I want them to have a mindset of ownership. That are not just working to be paid. It's not, and then for the employers too, it's not just it's a privilege to be working with me, I'm paying you money and all these things. Your mindset is you have the objective of the company at heart. So as a human resource manager, presently when you're dealing with Gen Z now, people who don't really care about your stuff, they pay me. So you want to correct that mindset to make sure, because when you own it, you want to get paid. Some of you want to pay higher, you want to get promoted, but you're just doing it. But when you have a mindset of ownership, there's an added effort. You want to see this thing come to a good result and come to a reasonable place. And there's no how you give that attitude to work, that the company will not become better and things. Of course, it will increase your pay.
Exactly.
So,
but how do we now help private firms? So it's not for private firms only. So how do we help organizations?
Okay, so for organizations, and there's every tendency to think that all it's about the employees, right? But I think if there will be a change, it should start from the employer also. So the employers need to have the right mindset also. Know that they are not doing the staff a privilege. I mean, I had an experience that was pretty much terrible. After the NYC, I was really looking for a job. I mean, I needed to start life, especially as a man.
Exactly.
I didn't go back home after school. I just wanted to come to Abuja, make ends meet. So, and by the time I got the job, the man said, "Yeah, I'm going to select you." And I was about leaving where she was. And she said, "Is that how you thank me for taking me off the street?" I mean, I had said, "Thank you. What do you want me to do, ma? I should prostrate. I should lie down on the ground." And I was like, "What? Can I didn't take that job again?" Because it shows a lot about how culture will be, the organization will be. So the next day I came back actually to see the HR. I drove down. Just wanted to show pride. Alright, so I came and I told the HR, I don't think I enjoyed how I was being spoken to by especially for someone who was going to go into HR. I wanted him to know that this was not nice. 2 years after that experience, the HR of that company joined me at a space where my company is in and needed me to recruit for his company. So funny how life is. Yeah. So interestingly, I had to recruit for his company 2 years after that experience.
Wow.
So I think that employers also need to have the right mindset. If you didn't need these people, if you could do what they could do, if you had the time, why did you employ them in the first place? So we need employers having the right mindset, and it's going to be easy to also impact the employees also to know that this is how to approach your work and your mindset as well.
Nice. All right, so let's move to the importance of impact. Like why should you impact people? What are the things people should know about impact?
Okay, thank you so much. Brilliant question. I usually like to share things around 3. So that's why I do 3 points with them. And the very simple purpose, right? I think people are trying to do a whole lot. 7 things, 8 things, 9 things, 10 things. And also we have God the Father, God the Son, God the Spirit, and man is also a spirit that has a son who lives in the body. So I just decided that when I want to share some things, I'll just share them into 3. So that you can have something to go with and really apply. Simple and straightforward. All right. So the first thing I want to share is that when you impact, something happens to you first. And let me start from the analogy of I was coming when we were preparing for this, and I was on my way down here. 2 cars almost had accidents, and this is what would have happened if they had accidents. If I was the one driving a car, my car would have been dented. the person's car won't have been dented, and then something's going to happen to the environment. There's going to be a traffic jam, so it's going to delay people that are coming. So that's also happening to the environment. So this leads me to say, when you impact people, something happens to you first. You are not the same person again. Because of course, for you to have even this, and please, impact can be negative or positive. So I think one of the issues is people are unintentional about impact. And because you are unintentional about impact, you don't know that you are still impacting unintentionally. Because when I meet you, I do something, I say something, I act somehow, I've impacted something.
Yes, that attitude alone
has already spoken a lot about you. That's an impact already, and it has an implication of either replicating itself or informing the person about how you are. So the first thing that happens is that something happens to you when you impact, positively or negatively. So you are being changed one. There's something, and I usually say this, when you begin to share what you have or repeatedly do certain things, you are becoming better at it. And that mindset is being solidified. So the first thing that happens is that something happens to you. So if you are considering the importance of what is this impact, why should I impact? What is it about? Is that first thing is something happens to you. Secondly, something happens to the person you are impacting. You leave them with an experience, and that's why I said when I meet you, what I want to do is I want to leave them with that. Like, Oba was here. When I met him, this, that. You know, for example, you know, when I'm teaching on customer service experience, sometimes people want to show someone toilet and like it's just there, just turn like this, and then there's something when you go the extra mile. I say, okay, take the person to the place, show them the place and all of that. You leave them with an experience. Oh, I went to that place.
The way they attended
to me. Some people, that's all. The way they are attending to me. And you know, some people, money is not their problem. They pay for it. Another example would be, I think I just did that. I'm trying to use my professional experience when I have new employees that come to me, interns, I just want to get them a lunch once in a week. Any of the days in the week, I just connect with them. You know, how are you doing this? I'm strategically actually trying to leave my name in your hands. Because you know, one of the psychological effects you have, or human beings, one of the psychological needs of humans is to be loved, celebrated, and valued. So when you do these things, they feel loved, they feel celebrated, they feel valued. So the second thing is that you live an experience with them. Something happens to the person you're impacting. And finally, like the example I gave when we hold up traffic jam is that your environment. People don't know that when you impact the person who is being impacted, you are gradually building a culture around you. Something is changing. If it's a mindset is changing somebody, that person is likely going to go change it, in which we'll be sharing about some things that's to do with replicating impact. So that person is likely going to do that to somebody else. And before you know, the environment is being changed. You come to an office, I'm trying to use my professional experience now. You come to an office, just see that people are coming late. Something just informs you that late coming is allowed there.
Normal,
just see that people are just okay. For example, in my company, you don't call everybody by mistake. So you call my name, and it was very hard for me when I joined my company. I'm working with somebody, so I was like, my boss name is Kunle, so I said if I can't say Mr. Kunle, say Saki, so it'd be like.
That's very good.
So I started saying Saki, but gradually I had heard Kunle so much. One day I just said Kunle. And that's what
how did you feel?
I was like, I wanted to say also, and I just felt okay. The mindset is we're not trying to say you don't have respect. In which respect is not in the name and all of those things, not in Nigeria. So, but it became normal at some point. So if I recall somebody that say Sake and all of those things. So something happens to your environment. So the first thing is you are being changed, you get better at it. Something is happening to the person you impacted, and something is also happening to your environment. These are the importance of impact.
Wow. 3 points with Ben. This is massive. That's why you need to subscribe to this podcast channel. Yes, because you need to hear these 3 things will be so simple and to go straight to you, inside you. Thank you so much for this insight. Alright, so but you know that these things are not easier said than done, right? So what are the principles applied to making impact? The importance of this impact.
Very important question. And I like the fact you use principles, and that's because principles are a set of guidelines which, when you apply correctly, if and when you apply correctly, your results are predictable. Meaning, if you see somebody impacting in life, this person is impactful, you're just like, how is this person doing it? what you need to find out is what's the principle behind
Yeah.
it. Because
What is
to,
this person
what is
doing?
this person doing? Once you get the principle A plus A plus B plus B, you know that you're getting. The first thing I want to talk about before I talk about these three things is you don't need to be at a place of authority to impact. This is the mistake people are making. Anytime you want to address mindset of people, you first address the wrong ones. You don't remove the wrong mindset, you can't put in the right one. So people think that you have to be at a place of authority.
Yeah.
Have you met someone saying, I can't do anything now, I need to get to this level, I need to be a
I've
thought
met people
leader.
like that. Yes, I've met people like that actually.
Before you know, you don't even impact, you're just where you are, you're not doing anything. So the first thing I want to share about the principles of impact is what I call incremental value. Incremental value is called dispensing incremental value, and for me is that at every phase or level you're in, you can actually impact life. So I don't. There are over 1 million people that don't know what you do. So you can reach out to those people, and this is the same thing I share with content creators also. Feel like I'm not doing this because they're not commenting the way I want, they're not liking the way I want, and all of those things. And again, when it comes to three things about this content creation, sorry to deviate, three things again. I tell people that you are speaking to three levels of people when you're sharing. Today, as I'm speaking, also there's going to be a sect of people that feels like, wow, amazing, I've never heard this before. They're like, great stuff. Those people are below your level of knowledge. There's another one, there are those that feel like, I know this, so they're going to acknowledge, oh, nice one, well done, this is a great job, and all of that. You see all those comments, people that know what you know. And there's another level of people that know above what you know. So what I'm sharing now, they're like, oh, it's a great one, but there's more to this. There's more to this. Once you have an understanding that there are these three levels of people when you're in content creation, and you're sharing something, you bring yourself into peace of mind. You don't need to put yourself under pressure. I didn't get this comment, I didn't get this. This person commented like this. Was he not meant to support me? Why is he saying in addition? It helps you balance your mind. So I think the first thing people need to know when it comes to the principles of impact is that at every level you are in, you can dispense value. You can dispense impact. And that's what we call incremental value. That anywhere you are, is that at a phase, when you grow into another phase, you continue the impact. Where you are now, you are a WAEC holder, BSc holder. You don't go to school, but you have skills. Have you met people that are so good in fashion design but don't have BSc? And you see these people training other people. So I feel like the first thing when it comes to the principle of impact is incremental value. You know that at every level you are at, you can actually impact. Nice so one. That's the first one. So my second point is going to be straightforward also. After understanding that you dispense incremental value, the next thing you want to do is to set up a structure. Structures and systems are what make results replicable. Even in your absence, things can still keep going on. So, at a point you have grown to the extent where you have actually understood impact, you have increased your value so much, but you want to be able to do this in a way that you can directly measure your impact. So at first you may be impacting people just doing things generally, and you can't measure it. But once you put in systems, you can now measure what happened. This is why you hear things like masterclass, you hear things like a mentorship program, you hear things like just a small training. What you are doing is you are gradually beginning to impact people. So you want to set up a structure, and that doesn't need to happen at where you are now. Please, I want you to bring yourself to a point of peace. Don't worry, if you don't have structure, you're doing well. If you don't have structure, you're doing well. You get to a point where you now have to develop a structure. I have mentees now, and I tell them, I didn't even know. I told one day, I said, because you have me, you cannot make a mistake with that. I don't know, that stayed so much with her that it gave her this boldness to approach life. Because later I said, listen, I don't talk like this. What I was just trying to say is whatever it takes for you to be successful. So far, I can. If whatever, my guys call me Control G, because I feel like if I don't have access to something, and that's part of my impact also. When I meet you, you have a challenge, you need to reach out to somebody. I feel like I will help you get it. I don't come with, I don't know what to do. I come with the mindset of, if I don't have access to this thing or this person, I know somebody who have access to it. So this is why I'm always continually building my network. It's a privilege to know you, man.
Hey, please.
Okay, all right. So, like I'm saying, my second point is set up a structure. Put a structure to your impact. Are you so knowledgeable in something? Are you so profound in something you are doing? Have you gotten to a place where you actually have an understanding of even just one thing? set up a structure, put up a gathering, and that's why, after I had my first conference, I came to Abuja and there was a lockdown. And after the lockdown, I said, okay, people have been inside so much, and this is how it works. Most times people don't know when you want to impact people's structure, you want to put structure to it. It takes meditation. Sometimes it just comes to you as an idea.
Yeah.
That's why I always have a journal. What you are doing is impacting people.
Actually,
Pen it down. So that day I was just at home, and it just came to me. I'm out with them. I said, not even that. It came as people need to feel each other again. We have been at home. Everything just went online during the lockdown. Training online, everything. I said, I think I want to give youth the privilege to come out. And more youth, how we like to hang out. So I knew that strategically also, people are going to tilt towards the first gathering where they were going to meet people after being at home for a long time. So I came up with time out with them. That was the first time I did time out with them. And we held for 3 Sundays and it was amazing. Now I didn't have fun to all of this. But the truth of the matter is, when there's an idea, God has a way. If it's one that gave you the idea, provision is not a problem. We link up people. So I didn't plan to do refreshment, but we had refreshment all through the 3 Sundays. Amazing God. Amazing God. So we had cake to celebrate the introduction of town. I think what the Ben has held more than once now because of that singular act. So what's the structure I put in? I said, okay, people should come for 3 days, let's just learn from each other. What was your lockdown experience like? So my second point is this. Simply put a structure to your impact. That's the second principle to impact. And then the final one is to train to replicate. The final point when it comes to principles of impact is train to replicate. One of the ways you want to live your name in the sands of time is that in your absence, people can still do what you've done and then share it to other people. When I mean train to replicate, I've met you today and I want you to keep doing what I'm doing, impact other people. What I will do is not just leave you with impact, but leave you with what to do to also impact other people. So these 3 things I think are very important. Incremental value. At any level you're in, always dispense value, always dispense impact. You are not at a place where you cannot impact somebody. In fact, the reason why you don't think you're impacting is because you are actually operating unintentional impact. Actually. So what you are doing is impacting somebody, but because you don't feel you want it to be gigantic, that's why you are not started to operate intentionally. Once you understand that your speech, what you do, your actions, these things, the way you look, what you say, I always come off so difficult, and someone in church said, you don't smile, you don't talk. I said, okay, if I'm going to change this, people need to see me as someone that is approachable. The Bible says that they are going to be friendly. You need to also become that kind of friendly person. So, just when I get in church now, I just say, oh, nice shoes. And I'm like, oh, you smell good. And I started to make comments and all that. And people say, okay, it's not that bad. It's approachable. It's not that bad and all of those things. So I think incremental value. Secondly, set up a structure to what you're doing. Have a structure, have a system. How do I want to impact that? Do I want to just gather 3 people? Start with 3 people. Today, no matter where I've gotten to, there are just 3 people I can call my team. It's because I decided that these are the 3 people I want to work with. The structure I put for myself is I don't want large crowd. I want to be able to, when they say bring 2 people, that bring 2 people for all this multi-level marketing, I'm like, I want to raise 3 people and let them be able to go ahead to do the same thing and we spread across that way. Now, those 3 people are because that's the capacity I can do from now. I can give my time to them. They have access to call me anytime. While I may miss somebody call, if I miss their call, I'm not happy, I'm not settled. Understand? So, and finally, it's train to replicate beyond your impact. You now have to train other people to be able to replicate the impact you're doing.
In all of your points, like, I feel like the what's the word now? The main point for me, in summary of the 3 things that you've said this morning, it would be living life intentionally, because everything's still round up in these 3 points that you have given. Creating value, structure, and
replicating.
Now you have to live your life intentionally to do these 3. Because if you're not intentional about creating value, if you're not intentional about recreating into someone else, if you're not intentional about structure, about plans, just like you said, to be an unintentional impact. But if you're intentional about the way you dress, intentional about the way you talk, intentional about your approach to others.
That's right.
I feel like living your life intentionally. Like also the example you give about you commenting on people's look and just making yourself friendly so that you not be as if this person is a snob.
That's right.
But you are not actually a snob. It's just that maybe at that time you're not in the mood to just see anything. But you have to be intentional that
to change that
I want
narrative.
to do this so that
That's
people
right.
their first impression about me will not be this person is a snob. Over was there. You are trying to learn something in me right now. This is a very good one. Thank you so much. So to round up for today, what are the challenges that we face thus far? Because of course everything cannot just be going smoothly and all. So what are the things that have really challenged you to be a better person that you are?
Okay, to be a better person, I think the first thing is
to give 3 points again.
No.
Okay.
Not 3 points. I'll just express myself.
Okay.
Oh my God, that got me.
Okay.
So your question is challenges in being a better person. One of the challenges has been I struggled with. I wanted to become everything before teaching.
Yeah, I think this should be seriously addressed because I had that issue too. I had it with myself and with someone. So I feel like sometimes we just need to understand that there's a phase.
Yeah.
There's a process. You need to enjoy that season that you are. It's very important that you just walk with your pace, walk with your time, walk with the process isn't for you. Don't ever let that go. Work with the people that you have around you for now.
Yeah.
I know everybody for me, I feel everybody wants to aspire to get to that place. But before you get there, enjoy the process, the season that you are right now. A step at a time, knowing fully well that you will get there one day. If you have a mentor and you learn, like you really learn from them, you also discover that they are not just there. They did not just catapult themselves to that place where they are right now. In fact, for me, I feel like that time in their own processes, it would be like they are limited to so many things. Now we have access to technology that can help us to just do it on time. AI is there. You don't have to think again. You don't have to think again because AI can help you with so many things. But for them, they don't have access to all of it. So how were they able to get to that point that they are right now? They work with their timing. They work with their process. Like they enjoy the season that they were then, believing that they would get to this place now. So back to your own child. I'm just trying to share that so that people understand that.
Awesome.
That people understand that it's not just by luck or by wishing all of these things.
It means it's actually common to people. And, you know, like I said, you need to own your process, own your time. My pastor always says something. Say, I don't have a mate. Say, your mate at this. I don't. Did they give 12? Did they give to 12 of us? Even twins.
Even twins, like, it's not the same time because they came out before each other.
So I don't have a mate. You can't just come and put me under pressure. You know, like I said, one of my challenges has been helping people even while growing up. Something like a very unique story, and it hurt me, and I had to pray. I think the only way I could go through it was prayers. I was in school and I had just been given an extra semester to do courses I couldn't complete. And it was not that I failed, but I had so much courses that I needed to cover that I needed to spill into an extra semester, not a year. Yeah, I needed to do first semester. And that same period, one of my mentees back then, I failed some courses that his mother said, "Who is your mentor in school?" So the woman called me the same period I just got an extra semester. I was like, how come he failed and all of that? And you know, when I was done talking to her, because you know I can't tell her that I went to extra semester. So she's not be like, this is why it's failing.
Yes, actually.
This is why it's failing. You know, only me understood that process. Today the guy is also here in Abuja, working with a very good company. I was talking to his CEO recently, and he said that happens to be one of the best internet. So you could tell that why things may have been shaky for me then, I was not raising a foolish man. I was not training someone that was crazy. Because when I see him today, when I see what he's revealing there, I mean, this is someone that they're taking in for a training, almost running to 500,000, because he's qualified and is delivering well enough for them to bring him. That's okay, one thing for this training. You understand? It's just that I think very uniquely, he's not working with what he studied. just the way I'm not working with what I study. So sometimes when it even comes to structured impact, God will bring to you people who are around your journey also. So you can be easy to be intimidated. So it has been easy for me if I check on the people that I call close mentees now. They are not doing what they study. So I think God just brought these people around me and said, this is the people I want you to really pour yourself into. So I think one of my major challenges has been helping people grow while I'm also growing. And been very, very tasking.
But let's make avenue for people that are just coming up as well. Let's make avenue for people to come and share their process into what they are doing. I tell people that this show is not just for it's not just for big men, or it's not just for people that have made it. I also want to help people that are just coming up. I want to help entrepreneurs that I know that you are going somewhere. I have seen you learn this thing. You can, the little thing that you know, come and share. I will invite you. Come and share it on the show.
I posted something some days back on my status, and I said, network horizontally. The people who are at the top now do not meet at the top. So you need to network horizontally. Some of us, you are busy trying to get to mentors who are at the top. Now, not bad, because you need knowledge from them. You need to get some experiences from them. But the next president, the next people, when you find somebody on their way intentionally to where they are going, not potentials, because everybody's a potential. Everybody's a potential, but you find somebody turning his potential into kinetic, meaning he's taking action. Please, I beg you, invest in them. So what you are doing is, please don't stop.
Oh my goodness.
Please don't stop bringing people, because these are the faces. In fact, I am the face you'll be seeing very soon. Let me not say these are the faces, because very soon you know, and you know, actually, when it comes to this whole PA thing and all that, it's going to become a time in life where those things are required to set up structure around it. So I know that there are people who are growing now. When they get there, they'll have to do all those things. But if you have invested in them now, give them opportunity now, you know that by then you don't need to struggle to have access to this people. So I think people need to understand that when you find people who are intentionally turning their potential into things, because potential is all you can become, all you can do, but you have not done. You have not become. So it means that nobody is actually useless because they can become something. I think
when you give them that avenue to.
Thank you. So I believe that you're doing a great job. I'm doing a great job also.
Yes, so hey, boss man.
So please, if you're out there, I don't want to negate anything you're doing. I don't take it for granted. We don't take it for granted. FEP is not taking it for granted.
Honestly.
Very soon
and I would love to have you on the show. I would love to have you on the show.
I said it. So please keep doing what you're doing, and you're becoming somebody in the process. That's what matters.
So is this your advice?
Okay, well, it could be part of my advice. What I would say is that we had said so much about being intentional. I just want you to move from being unintentional into being intentional. And when it comes to being intentional, the first thing that matters is, what are your intentions? The reason I say this is first because of the God factor. If you don't have the right heart and attitude to what you're doing, it's going to affect everything you're doing. If you're doing what you're doing just to take advantage of people, just for the fame, it has a way of coming out in the long run. So the first thing you want to address is, why am I doing what I'm doing? Now, when you understand why you're doing what you're doing, get intentional at it. So the points we have shared, to have a structured one, to impact people, incremental value, please, I beg you, get intentional. What is intentional? You don't do it because you feel like doing it. Ask the people that are married. They don't pay school fees because they feel like paying school fees. They pay school fees because they need to pay school fees. So please do what you need to do, not what you want to do. So sometimes you are watching movie and you know that this is not what I should do. Invest and read, study, pray, do whatever you need. If you come to a place where people will look up to you the way you think you want to look up to, then you need to invest in yourself. And like what I said too, after being intentional, this is just something to just help you. Whenever you find people, you know what you want to give to them, make them feel loved, make them feel celebrated, and make them feel valued. When they are around you, let them feel like this person appreciates me, this person loves me, this person values me. It has a way of sending the right signals to them, and it's a very strong way of impacting people. And I hope that this very short advice really helps you.
That's why it's not short advice. So I know that this is just like 1/4 of the wisdom that God has embedded in you, because this is because yes, you really have more to give, and No, thank you. Thank you so much. Don't worry, I will drop his contact. You can also reach out to him on
Yeah, Oba Inspires on IG, Oba underscore Inspires. And then hopefully I have a YouTube page soon. I want to follow your footsteps.
Please, you
You have
should
been
have.
pampering me.
Yes, please, you should have.
Yeah,
Please, you should have a YouTube channel. What on Facebook?
On Facebook, we're not very active. I'm planning to be active, but Instagram is my main. So probably the Oba underscore Inspires.
Thank you so much for watching today's episode of the FEP Talk Show. Thank you for staying till this time to learn. It's worth the time. Thank you. Please follow us on all our different handles on Facebook, on Instagram at the FEP Talk Show. You can also reach out to us on our Gmail. We are open for partnership or sponsorship, the FEP Talk Show at gmail.com. And subscribe. You still have to subscribe.
Subscribe, please. Please, they have value here. Subscribe to this channel.
Oh my goodness, please subscribe to the FEP Talk Show. You can click on your notification bell to always get notified anytime a video has been uploaded. Also like and comment. Yes. Thank you so much. I remain Oladoyin. See you next week Monday.